Some people claim that Nanawe is a descendant of an ancient shark god. Whatever the case, he's strong and deadly.
Does it talk?
Book read.
Wow. Book's upside down. You see that? It's pretending to read a book.
So smart, me.
What's up, fellow collectors? P-Rock's Little back again for another review, and today we're going to take a look at a figure that a lot of people kind of played down or were not excited about. But me, at least I heard from other streams and stuff, and when I was in streams, it felt like for some reason I was one of the few people who was actually excited for this figure, and I really am excited for this figure. So I'm super happy to bring you guys the Hot Toys King Shark from the Suicide Squad 1/6 scale figure power pose. And I'm excited for this figure, maybe because of the fact that it was a power pose that some collectors kind of like flashed or kind of, you know, didn't want to get the figure or kind of played it down a little bit. But I was excited for this guy. I still am excited for this guy. I'm happy to finally have him in hand. I love the way this box looks, the color on there. I haven't touched it yet, so I can't wait to get my hands on there. The movie, I do admit, it was so-so, but I did enjoy the movie. I had fun with the movie so far. To me, was better than anything I've seen in the MCU Phase 4. So I enjoyed the movie. I know James Gunn's more of a comedic, like, director type, at least so far what he's shown us. And that's what got me a little bit nervous with the DC, him taking over DC and everything. But this movie was fun, and I enjoyed the movie, and I enjoyed King Shark. I wish Hot Toys gave us more of the Suicide Squad members. I know there's a few third-party ones out there, but I'm not a huge, like, I do like some third-party figures, but I'm not a huge third-party person. I can, like, there's so many things to collect out there that I can actually wait for the official version. And if it never does come, and hopefully I don't wait too long, I can still get the other figure I really want third party. I will get that. But anyways, we're talking about King Shark here. This is not third party. This is the official one. So let's get this review started. Dale. Now, this box is too big, at least for me right now, currently, to get it in the full frame. So I'm just going to probably try to get the most important parts in there. So starting off, I'm just going to say real quick, I love the way this box feels and looks. Like, the way these waves are, you can feel the outline on them, and they kind of stick out a little, like they're embroidered on there. I love the color, like the blue with the pink waves, and then the blue for the shark. You got the DC Suicide Squad, DC logo right here. You got the power pose. Now, this is going to be my first power pose, so I'm very interested to see how this figure comes out. You got the Hot Toys logo right there. And one of the cool things is, let me flip this way sideways. You got King Shark there, but what's cool about it is they got the little like graffiti crown there. So that goes with King Shark. So I love the way that looks. That would be cool if they actually gave us a crown, man. I'm about to get like a 6 scale third-party crown. And then over here, you have the King Shark logo. I love that right there. See, this is what I mean. What this kind of reminds me like the kaiju, because if you watch Pacific Rim, they actually had some of the kaijus had like little logo things going on there like this, and one of them has something like this. This is what I meant when I said in that stream, like this is the closest thing to a Godzilla figure or a kaiju figure that I will get from Hot Toys, because it's a creature, man. It's a creature. So you got the, I know it's a shark, but I'm saying it's a creature. Suicide Squad. You got the waves there, more DC stuff there, all the legal information in the back. Another logo there, DC again. Same thing up here, nothing in the bottom, and then right in the top you get that cool King Shark logo. Han. So yeah, when he's using the hand and everything. So yeah, I love this, man. Can't wait to get this guy out of the box. So let's get him out the box. All right, like I said before, it is too big to fit in the frame. So that's what she said. So here we go. Now I am gonna say this freaking dude has a presence. This is what you get when you pull him out the box. But this dude has a fucking freaking presence that basically, when you pull him out the box, just the size of him and the weight, like, oh my god, this thing looks so damn cool, man. So anyways, that's what you have here. They got the foam wrapping them around. It feels hard and everything. You got the hands there. Just move the sideways so you can see everything that comes in the package, just like he does, like as if he was brand new, which he is brand new. All right, there we go. So let's go ahead and get this big boy out with all the accessories so we can take a closer look and fine detail everything he does come with. Even out of package, King Shark's a little too big for the frame. So, but man, this thing, man, just, oh my god, just taking out the package, just the presence it gave and just the way it felt. But anyways, this is, in my opinion, is basically like a statue, just with limited articulation. That's what it looks and feels. I mean, I haven't bought like a big statue yet, but I've bought like, you know, smaller statues, and this kind of was, you know, makes me feel like I had that same feeling when I opened it. I'm like, oh my god, this thing looks so cool. But anyways, let's go look at King Shark. And let's look at the fine detail they did with King Shark. Look at that. Look at those teeth, man. Look at that. Shh. Look at the yellow portion with the white. You see the rows of teeth up there on the top of his mouth. Look at that black eyes. That's what that's the part that scares people the most with sharks. Like the beady black eyes. Like there's no life in those eyes. Just like you just see it and it's like, oh, that's just like horror right there. You can see the tongue. Let's see if you can see all the way in the mouth. You can see all the detail in all the way down that mouth. Now I do wish the mouth was articulated. We'll go over articulation, but the mouth is not open or closed. Just stays that position. And I do kind of wish that the neck doesn't move. It kind of moved. It's stuck in that pose right there. But it's kind of cool because you won't see that seam line going. That same seam line you see right now on the shoulder. You won't see it going across the neck. But man, and then not only that, look at the freaking detail. Like the way the figure feels. I've never touched a shark. Actually, yeah, I did like a nurse shark or something at corner, but I'm not sure if they feel the same as like the great whites, but just that texture. Look at the fins. I mean, not the fins. The gills right here. Look at the detail on there, man. They did a good job. This guy's heavy too, so be careful. If you're gonna pick them up, be careful holding them. Look at the dorsal fin. And the other set of eyes over here. Let's see if I can put this a little bit brighter, just to kind of give it a little bit more just. There we go. Look at those black eyes, man. Woo, that's scary. Num num. So yeah, you get the fin going all the way to the back, like a spine, basically. Get the detail on the arms, the hands. The pants are fabric, and they are stuck on there, so you can't really take them off. I'm pretty sure people can find a way to get them off, but don't recommend taking them off. But look at the scars all across them. Look at that. That looks cool, man. The pinkish right here under his tatas. You see the little rip on the pants right here, and you can see they still have the same attention and detail going through to the skin underneath. Maybe he did that on purpose, but yeah. Look at this. Look at the rips down here. Look at his feet. Look at the detail, the way it feels. This guy's cool, man. This is definitely so far a purchase I do not regret. Look at this. Look at this guy. Look at it. You got the wedgie a little bit going on right here. Look at me, not get fresco. Look at that. Let's try to fix that wedgie. All right, but yeah, look at the detail on the dorsal fin back here, man. This guy looks cool as hell, man. Let me see how he smells real quick. It smells good too. All right, let's put this big boy down slowly. I definitely would be careful putting him somewhere high, because I got a feeling if he drops, man, the weight he has, something might break or fall off. All right, so let's go look at the accessories he does come with. He comes with a separate swappable hands. Look at the detail inside the hands. Look at that. The webs between the fingers. The knuckles. The texture on this just feels so damn cool, man. And the paint application they did too. Let's see if this is identical. If these are identical. No, not really. Yeah, I guess they are. Yeah, it looks like the wrinkles are in the same spots. So it could be identical. But definitely cool swap outs. I do wish he did come with more accessories. Does come with the book. The Varieties of Religious Experience by William James. And yes, the pages do turn. And yes, there are letters in this book. You know, it's like every page is the same. So, hey, repetition. That's how you remember. At least that's what my math teacher told me. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It feels like a book, so it has that cool texture as a book. And then you get the small piece of the Starro. The eye on this, I know it's a small piece, but the paint and just that glass, like reflective look on that eye is awesome, man. The way they painted this right here. This would be cool. Imagine a power pole Starro. Oh, yeah, probably too big, but that would be freaking cool, man. If they do that same, if they were to make an eye just like that, but bigger form. You get the back end of it. So it's cool. I mean, this was a classic DC villain, so I'm happy. That's one thing I do admit about James Gunn. He likes to go in the nook and crannies to find those, like, those rare characters, and he makes, he gives them justice. So Star Wars 1, he gave justice to, man. I was surprised when I first saw that. I was like, and not only that, in the movie they even mentioned they're like, oh, we got a giant kaiju. See what I'm saying? So you got the resemblance to kaiju, man, kaiju. But anyways, all right, let's go ahead and try to figure a size comparison with King Shark. Rucka remix. I forgot to do the articulation. I'm so sorry about that. I was just so amazed with the figure so far, so I forgot to do the articulation. Anyways, just the detail, like I said, detail in the figure. So as of so far, the only thing that can actually articulate are his arms, which can move all the way up. It has tiff. I don't want to go all the way up. It has like some resistance there, so I'm not sure if I can go fully. I'm pretty sure you can, but I don't want to resist it fully. So you do get articulation at the arms. While we're at the arms, you do get articulation at obviously at the wrist, the hands, because you'll swap these out. You do get some pivot right there. Oop, and then it comes right up. So you can actually take a look at the peg then, whenever that happens. There's a clear plastic right there. It just goes right in. Pretty simple. I'll get that in later. There we go. Goes right in. All right, and then the other arm, same thing. You get the same articulation of the other arm. Let's move there we go. Same thing, but when you do move, you do get to see some. It feels like the arm's popping out a little bit, so be careful with that. It just feel like when you move it, see, like, I feel like a gap shows right there real good. So you want to pose them in a way where you're not going to see that seam too much. Same thing with this hand. And then the only other articulation was the ankle. So the ankle can twist. Now, the only negative about that, well, it's negative and a plus. The fact that you do articulation here is a good thing. But at the back end, you see, this is one thing when I have OCD, it doesn't line up. So, you won't see it from the back when you have the figure in display. So just something that, for me, I'm trying to keep that lined up. All right, so that's the articulation. Let's go ahead and do some size comparison. Now we have King Shark standing in their default pose, just like he came out the package. So let's go ahead and get, I can only fit 2 figures this time. So let's get 2 figures in there. I'm going to get 1 Hot Toys and 1 3-0. All right, let's go ahead first with the Hot Toys. And this is going to be the Hot Toys Star Wars Jango Fett. I want to kind of keep the same color scheme with the Hot Toys one. So there goes Jango Fett. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring in the 3-0 Game of Thrones Hound. I got to be careful with this guy because he stands kind of funny. Oh, see. I'm trying to lean him against There we go. So there goes the Hound and Jango Fett with King Shark. So you get a good size comparison if you decide to pick up King Shark or you're thinking about it and you have one of these other figures in your collection. You get an idea of how big, at least height-wise, not width. Well, you probably get a good idea of the width too, of how he would fit in your collection. Okay, let's go ahead and do the final thoughts and final poses. So the fact that he's a power pose, I'm going to be limited on the amount of poses I can get him in there. So for this review, I'm just going to do two final thoughts, 2 final poses. That's it. So, of course, on this review, I wanted to make sure I included the book, the Small Star Wars. As you can see, too, the Small Star Wars enjoying himself a little bit too much as King Shark's trying to read his book in peace. And swapping out those hands was pretty simple. Once you take it off, you hear like a little popping sound once you get the peg into the hand. So, no problem at all swapping that out. Getting the book into the hand was no problem. You do have to it took me a few tries to get it in there. You kind of have to, it doesn't look as easy as it is in the pictures. You have to try to squeeze it in there. And there goes Star. I guess Star Wars had a little too much to drink there. So he is done for the day. And now King Shark will, read his book in peace. Anything I'm trying to think of negative this figure? Like I said, just the fact that the neck doesn't move a little bit. I do wish the mouth did open a little bit more. But I'm happy with the neck portion because I don't want that seam line showing there on the neck. But like I said, the mouth would have been pretty cool. Or maybe at least have the other, like the upper jaw come down a little bit more. So have that option where you can bring the jaw down a little bit more. We can actually show more of the teeth to kind of have like a scary King Shark look going on there. And I would love to have him come with like a severed body part or some kind of like a swappable arm or hand that has like blood stains on there because, in the movie he does tend to eat a lot of people. So that's something he does do. And he is a shark, man. It's kind of hard to have a shark not bloody. But just the presence of him so far is pretty cool. And accessory-wise, yeah, maybe one more accessory he could have came with, like I said before, maybe like the bloody hand or something like that. But I do have something to use in that place, and you're going to see that right about now. And there it looks like Saitama finally event his match, and my boy King Shark took One Punch Man out, took that hand. You can see the hands in his mouth. You see that blood gushing out as he's biting down on that hand. and you see Saitama's head in the palm of King Shark's hand. So, like I said, this figure is limited. It basically is a statue. If you're okay with that, I would say this is an outstanding piece to have in a collection. Now, the question is, who or what would you pair this up with if you were to get this figure in your collection? Now, I know a lot of people didn't like that Peacemaker, but according to some of the sellouts and stuff, if it really is sold out, then, more people liked it than we thought. So I personally am going to be pairing him up with Peacemaker in the hopes that Hot Toys does release or make some more of the Suicide Squad hot figures from the movie. Just because, like I said, with me, I don't do the MCU movie stuff as much, but Suicide Squad, those characters are strictly and directly from the comic book. They're not made up characters. Yes, some are not as cool as they were in the comics, but if I were to get some of the other ones, I definitely would have them posed with their mask or helmets on because that's the way I remember them from the comics. So, but this King Shark right here does hold a presence. This is a big piece. He looks cool. Everything's easy to swap out. The articulation, yes, limited, but you could get some decent poses on there. Don't have the accessories that he should have came with, but with this one right here, as you can see, it does look pretty good. Let me see if I can bring the lightness down a little bit more if that helps out. No, it doesn't really. All right. Yep. So if that helps out a little bit with this pose with King Shark right here. So you can get a little bit more of that blood. See, you don't get to see the inside of the mouth as much. So yeah, I don't know if that's as better. But anyways, to me at least, my opinion, this came out good. It was an amazing piece that the way the not articulation, the attention to detail they put onto the skin. And for the price, it's not too pricey. Yeah, well, it was $220. I got it for about $205 without tax and shipping. So, for $205, this is a good piece to have. And like I said, it's just one of those rare, obscure characters that I would never thought Hot Toys would make. But the fact that he was somewhat popular in the movie, then I kind of did think that Hot Toys wasn't going to go the route. Because, he is kind of cute, too. And he is pretty cool. And it's my boy Sly. He playing a voice of this guy. You got to make sure, because Sly is in it. So you got to support my boy Sly. And I'm just happy I got this piece, man. Like I said, I was on the fence a little bit when I did pre-order him, but now that I have him in hand, this piece is amazing, at least to me. And I can't wait to have him in my collection. And I can't wait to get Peacemaker to have them paired up together. And like I said, I'm going to use that crazy tongue piece when I get my Peacemaker. I'm one of those rare collectors that's going to use it and did not mind that because it's going to look cool posing with King Shark as he reads his book upside down. But, all right, collectors, hope you enjoyed this piece. And if you were on the fence, this will kind of probably push you over the fence to get this piece because I don't do this often. But like I said, if you're on the fence, I'm not saying if you were not on the fence, if you don't give a crap about the character, and then stay away from this piece, stay away from this figure, statue, whatever you want to call it. But if you're on the fence, I would say pick it up so you can support the Suicide Squad, and hopefully that will push Hot Toys to release some more of the figures in the Suicide Squad line. And it will push them to kind of try different characters in different power poses that maybe they don't want to make a full character for. So if you enjoy this character, please try give him some support and pick him up. And if you enjoyed this review, please hit that like, subscribe button, click that bell notification. And as always, collectors, keep collecting, stay safe, be good, dale.